Hello, everybody. Welcome to another draft video with the Hockey Writers. As the countdown has begun on the draft, 2024 draft. And in this video, we're going to be doing some superlatives as we do in like high school yearbooks, those types of things. Logan put one of these articles out last year, and I believe he's working on one for this year as well. But we're just going to do a video on these. As always, joined in by Peter Baracchini and Dayton Reimer, Prospect Corner, and we are going to do some superlatives here. So let's start with the best skater of this draft. Now, there's lots to choose from, but Peter, who's your best skater?
I'm gonna go with Berkeley Catton. I think this is a guy who can turn on a dime, can evade pressure in all situations. Even when the pressure is mounting, he's able to come out on top and he's able to use his speed, edge work, agility to his advantage. Um, he's just so smooth when he's, cutting across. He's quick in transition too when he's able to push defenders back. I think he's probably one of the best skaters in this draft as a result of that.
Dane, do you agree with Berkeley Catton being the best skater, or you got someone else?
No, I think Berkeley Catton is the best skater in the class. He just weaves in and out, and it doesn't look like he's trying. He's just so good. He's so fast. It's so much fun to watch. Runner up for me would be Luke Misa. He's been really fun to watch as well. But Catton is just another world.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna have Catton for mine as well. All right, Dayton, what about best shot?
Yeah, I think it still belongs to Cole Iserman. I think there's a couple of guys who are pushing him for it, but right now, we're heading on into the draft, Cole Iserman has the best shot. You can't stop it. It's too good.
Yeah. Peter, you got Eiserman as well?
It's hard not to take
Yeah.
anybody other than Cole Eiserman, really. I mean, not just the shot, but the ability to score anywhere on the ice too. Like even in tight, when it's like quick rebounds, I think maybe, I mean, aside from deflections, but like he's able to find open ice so easily and get in undetected that he's just lethal anywhere from in tight or far out with that release. I think you can't deny the fact that, Macklin Celebrini, we've seen him wire it down low on a goal line, far board so many times. He's got the power and accuracy. And same with Sasha Bovair. I think his shot is very, very underrated too. And I think it's up there along with, Celebrini and Iserman as well.
Right. So good names there. But Eiserman, I think probably takes it. But yeah, there's a lots of guys that have some really good shots. And but Eiserman, yeah, he's been compared to Austin Matthews with his shot. So that's a pretty good comparable. All right, Peter, what about best hockey IQ?
I think it's got to go to this. May be the easy answer, but it's got to go to Celebrini. I think on both sides of the puck, he shows that awareness with and without the puck, and especially when he has it, he's able to fool defenders very easily, manipulate situations, and create more space for him that allows him to be more dangerous. And without the puck, he's still hunting down, cutting down lanes, chasing loose pucks, battling hard. He's got the ability to be in position, even to break up plays and quickly counterattack and just leave the opposition in the dust. I think he's always in the right spot at the right time, and it's hard to try and find anybody else that can, surpass the awareness and IQ that he does have.
Celebrini's mine. To Dayton, what about you? Is that Celebrini for hockey IQ?
Funny enough, when I was preparing my list, I forgot about Celebrini because I've done so many things where it's like, okay, think of your favorite guy aside from Celebrini.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
true.
he's
Yeah.
going first.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
won't think
true,
about
yeah.
Celebrini. So once you mentioned Celebrini, I'm like, yeah, he's the smartest.
Yeah.
Totally. I was going to say maybe Berkeley Catton is a runner-up.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
intelligent. I really like how he sees the game and sort of adjusts on the fly. But no, Celebrini is the choice.
It's true. We always say, aside from Celebrini.
Yeah. I think it's the one point where you can't find anybody else other than Celebrini.
Yeah. You can't, no. All right, Dayton, I believe it's your turn to start. Best hands.
I think this one goes. I think it's a tight race. I'm going to pick Ivan Demidov. He is really good with the puck, and I think there is some legitimate concerns with his skating and maybe overall awareness of things. He didn't look super great in the KHL when he had a few cups of coffee there, but no, he can do things with the puck that shouldn't be possible, and he just has the patience and he has the ability to go through players. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, Demidov is really, really fun to watch just because of that. And of course, some other things that he's got in his arsenal too. He's got pretty good shot too. Yeah. Peter, what about you? Who has the best hands?
Yeah, Demidov hands down. I mean, no pun intended there. Every single time he has control, it's like the puck is on a string, and he totally fools the defenders of what he's going to do. And not even just that, but with his movements, his body positioning, the way he handles the puck itself, he's very deceptive and deceptive, deceiving, whatever word you want to call it. He's a master at that, and there's a big reason why he's always been in my top three, because he's very deceiving as a result of that, and he can fool opponents every single time he's on the ice. Beckett Seneca, I think, is a very strong runner up because of his ability and that strength and size to get to the middle of the ice and have the puck control and soft touches that he has. As a result of that, I think he's very phenomenal. Obviously Demidov has the best hands, but I think Seneca is in that category as one of the best, puck skills, puck control, hands, whatever you want to call it. I think he's up there.
Yeah, I would have said Seneca would be the runner-up too. I did his draft profile, and yeah, he definitely is fun to watch too because of that as well. All right, Peter, best playmaker.
This one is really tough because there are so many at this point. I have to say TJ Ginla. I know the goal totals. He almost hit the 50 mark. It's going to outweigh that. Well, why is a sniper or shooter going to get the best playmaker? But it's his ability. It's not just making passes. It's about creating the space. It's about getting open. It's about creating a play, whether you're passing it, starting it, or whether you're finishing it. And he's able to do it on both sides of the puck, whether he's passing or whether he's shooting. He is a play driver. He is one that constantly excels every single shift. And I always go back to the CHL Top Prospects game where he was on that line with Katten and Tariq Parasic, and he was just dominating every single time he had the puck. He would dish it off to both of them, but he was always in control of the play. So that is why he is my top playmaker.
Dayton, what about you? Who's your best playmaker? Is that TJ Ginla too, or?
No, I went with someone different actually. So we divert here a little bit. I went with Beckett Seneca. I think with his hands and his ability to create space and to move the puck, he can just create so many plays through his intelligence and through the movement. He has really strong passes. He's just, a really, really solid player that got overlooked at the beginning of the year and just took over and now could be like a top 10 pick without, I'm just struggling to come up with new words to say because we've talked about him already.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch and he moves the puck really, really well. And so he's my top playmaker.
You know what? Seneca was my my thinking too, because I did his profile, and I think he's going to end up being his playmaking is just apart from his where he talked about his hands and stuff. His playmaking is up there too. It's one of his best attributes, and that definitely is going to help in the NHL. A sniper on his line, he's going to be one of those. He is a winger, a playmaking winger that there's not many out there that are as good as playmaking as usually centers are the ones that are the great playmakers. So Seneca definitely is up there for me. So I'm going to call him my best playmaker. All right, this category I love, best compete level, because I love all these players that have this as one of their better attributes. Dayton, who's the player with the best compete level for you?
And there's so many guys that would fit well here, but I picked Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. I think he has a fantastic level of a work ethic. He's always involved in the play. He is a really smart player too. And so he knows where to put himself when he's most needed. Yeah, he's my top hardest worker.
Yeah. You could call it
Perfect.
hardest worker too.
Yeah,
Peter,
best compete. That's
best
I immediately
compete,
forgot
hardest
what it was.
worker. We have a few ways to describe this one.
Whatever it is.
Who do you got, Peter, for this one?
Oh, that is my mistake. Sorry about that.
Uh,
It is Jetlachenko from the Guelph Storm. High motor, high energy type of player. Again, not the biggest. May need to add some strength, but the speed that he has to get in on the attack, relentlessly to just relentlessly battle for possession, regain it. He shows no fear at all every single time he's on the ice. Again, kind of like you with Seneca, I wrote his profile. I watched a ton of him because I'm so drawn into his game. He's just fantastic at what he does. Again, I probably could have like given him an honorable mention as a playmaker as well. Very deceptive, but he's willing to go in and establish that attack and get into the dirty areas. Even though he may get knocked down, he shows no fear. So he's my player with the high compete level. Give a big shout out to EJ Emery on the back end. We haven't really shown any love for defensemen on here because
yeah,
forwards are pretty good, but he again on the back end he's very very strong, very aggressive, very physical and tenacious. I want to give a shout out to EJ Emery.
good stuff. Yeah, EJ Emery definitely should fall into this. I mean, some defensemen, we haven't talked about any of these defense. Usually all these other categories are
Yeah.
going to be forwards, but I could have some defensemen in there too. All right, this one could be an obvious one because it's probably going to be Celebrini, but most likely to succeed in the NHL next season. Peter, is it Celebrini for you, or do you have a defenseman that could potentially succeed next season?
See, again, Celebrini is the easy answer. I
He
hate to
probably
say
will.
that,
I mean,
but there's probably that slim chance that he goes back to college and maybe nobody makes a jump next year. But
yeah,
aside from Celebrini, and I'm not saying this because I do think it's going to happen, but maybe collegiate level, maybe you know, a little bit too easy for Artem Levchunov. Maybe he does make that jump because Chicago needs more help on the right side. You don't want to rush defenseman. That's the one thing you don't want to do. But I think he probably has some pro qualities that could be ready to jump up. And even Sam Dickinson as well. I think there's a lot of
yeah.
pro qualities to his game that can easily ease his way into the pro level, whether it's AHL, NHL. I think we're talking, making the jump to NHL, but I do like a lot of aspects of their game that can translate easily to the
Mhm.
NHL.
I could see Dickinson. I don't know about a full season. I could see him
Yeah.
getting the 10 games and we'll see. But I think he definitely is NHL ready. I don't know if the team that gets him thinks that he'll play a full season, but Celebrini is going to be in San Jose unless, like you say, he goes back to college, decides to do that. It's the only reason he won't be. Dayton, do you think it's Celebrini or you have a defenseman in mind?
Um,
Or another forward. I mean,
yeah. So I might be a little bit different here. I think the person who might have the most success next year is Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. I think he is the most
yeah,
complete player
Yeah.
coming into the draft. I don't think he'll have the highest upside. I think Celebrini will take that bar. Like, there's no compete, at least compared between the two. But he is just a very well-rounded player. He's been playing professional in Sweden. He's got the physicality. He's got pretty decent size. Yeah, I think he would adjust very quickly to the NHL and could be a pretty solid rookie next year if they bring him in.
yeah. I mean, like you say, some of these guys that could, I see that too. He's very good two-way player already, and could end up being a third, fourth liner again. Maybe not a full season. He could have at the 10 games and succeed, and we'll see. But yeah, a bottom six guy that could potentially be a surprise to play in the NHL and be pretty good. All right, couple quick ones. Most likely to rise and most likely to fall. We'll put them together here. You have two names. So, Peter, rise and fall on draft day.
Rise, I'm still going to stand by this. Stein Solberg. I think his World Hockey Championship really paved the way for him to be a top 20, top 15, possibly as a selection. Um, Biggest faller. I think it's probably going to be Luke Misa. I probably had him as a first rounder. May not be in other circles, but I have a feeling that he's probably going to fall even further than where I have him right now as a second rounder. He possibly could fall to the third round as well. I'm just gonna say that there.
All right, Dayton, riser and a faller.
Yeah, I think the biggest riser is. Oh, I had him here for a second. Oh no. Um, well, I think it might be Dean Letourneau. I think someone could snag him probably in the top 20. I don't think they should, but I think they could. And then biggest faller. I don't know if it's going to be the biggest, but maybe the one that catches everybody's attention will be Berkeley Catton. I think he's going to slip out of the top 5. He could slip out of the top 10, which would be a massive mistake, and somebody should get fired for that. That's my opinion, and maybe no one else's. That's okay.
Yeah, well, mine was Berkeley Catton. It's gonna happen. I mean, he won't fall like crazy like Stankoven out of the first round where he shouldn't have, but Catton will fall from where he should be. It's just like Zach Benson did. It's gonna happen, and I don't know if Buffalo's gonna be the team that gets him out. All right, final one, most underrated prospect of this draft. Dayton, start with you.
Lucas Pettersson from Sweden. I think he is being slept on as one of the more intelligent players in the draft. He thinks the game, at least it looks like he thinks the game 2 steps ahead of everyone else. He reminds me a lot of Nate Danielson last year. I've made that comparison before. He's a really good skater. He did really well at the under 18s, which I think maybe it turned a few people onto his case. But for me, he's a lock for the first round. And he's not for everyone else, which I'm like, what's going on? He's criminally underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did the top 10 Swedes, and I think he's definitely, even on NHL Central Scouting, I think he's the second best Swede, and he may even be the best. And Wallnäs is the top ranked Swede. So I think he's third because Eriksson is second, which was kind of surprising to me when I was looking. Not very big gaps, but that's how it is. Peter, what's your most underrated prospect?
I am going to take Spencer Gill. I think he had a lot of offensive upside during the season, and the fact that he rounded out his defensive game and is using his size more to his advantage, in terms of generating that offense and being a little bit more aware with his defensive game. I think he has a foundation to be a really strong, solid two-way game or two-way player. Um, it's basically a tie between him and Maxime Massé as the top QMJHL player. And I know I had Massé ahead of Gill, but it wouldn't surprise me if Spencer Gill overtakes him for that because of the development and progress that he made all season.
All right. Well, there's a bunch of names to keep an eye on again for the draft. Lots of names we've mentioned already, but we'll see how all plays out on the draft, which is now a week and a half away as we're recording this. But check out everything at thehockeywriters.com. We got great content coming out every day. And of course, on draft day, we'll be throwing out the live announcements as they happen. So make sure tuned into that and our draft tracker as it comes out. But thanks, Peter. Thanks, Dayton, for joining me for another video here. And we'll see you next time.